The wait is over for the best league on mobile for Ultimate Racing 2D2. Welcome to the Portuguese Grand Prix. This is Season 7 of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. The opener is once again happening on the Iberian Peninsula, but not in Spain this time. We go to Portimao for the third time in the league's history. Last season it was an absolute banger with Laguno, our reigning champion again now, going from P18 to P1. This race has been recorded beforehand and the recorder has switched last minute, which is why not all of the liveries are visible here. You can see Nitro racing for a brand new team there though, and also Ludwig. This is Ibernova GP, the team founded by Krusnet. He has left Williams after just one round where he fought, after just one season where he fought Laguno for the championship, to create his own team, which might turn into a favorite for the team's champion as well. But Krusnet is not here today. Instead, Ludwig and Nitro are behind the wheel for that team. The black, yellow, red livery that you've seen there, that's Etruria Racing Team. Quite a bold design for them this season. And that is Nikhil racing for Williams. Williams is looking like Red Bull today. Laguno's teammate today is his co-team owner as well, who's been racing in the past. I think in the first 4 seasons especially. And also scored one podium at Valencia in the autumn 2024 season where Matt was disqualified. Right now Justin is holding provisional pole, 34.80. The 34 times are very good around here already. Senna is over a tenth of a second behind him here, and then Paradrive, who's been holding provisional pole before that. Senna is here in the McLaren, that's quite fitting, but he's of course racing for S25M since the middle of last season. Senna is gonna come across the line now, 1 minute left on the clock. He's now 700 behind the Flying Dutchman, who's still out front. Nitro's gone up to P3 meanwhile. It looks like all of these fantastic drivers who have established themselves at the top, but not at the very top of the league last season, are going to continue to fight with Laguno and Krusnet, who have been fighting for the championship last season. Justin again trying to improve his time, and he equals his personal best for now. There's Sigma Bob, our newest race winner, still racing for Etruria now. Guillermo is in the Hurricane Racing Team. Of course, Etruria and Hurricane Racing Team now are working together, and Guillermo just taking a bit of pressure off him. The champion from the winter 2025 season no longer racing that actively. Instead, Sigma Bob and Justin are a fantastic lineup. There's Toaster racing for his team Minardi, 55 in the S25M today, and Nitro now coming across the line, cannot improve. The time has ticked down. Paradrive slowing down right before the line, but he's going to take a career best 3rd place on the grid for the Portuguese Grand Prix. You've also just seen Francesco FF69, also a new driver, very quick in the junior league so far, and now already having his super license as well. Nikhil has qualified P10 on his return to the leagues. Fede in P8, also very nice to see that. Ludwig also making his debut for Ibernova in P7, and Laguno only in 6th, 100th behind Matt. What a qualifying for Matt in his first race for Hurricane Racing Team. Thank God we have that much time to talk about all this, because the countdown is still going. But Matt has now changed from one time to MP Motorsport to Hurricane Racing Team in the space of just a few rounds. It's the 2nd career pole for Justin, and his 2nd at Portugal. Senna lining up alongside him just like they did 1 season ago. Paradrive in P3. Has he spent Christmas practicing for UMRL? Nitro starting 4th for Ibernova GP, a 10th of pole position. Matt in P5 ahead of our reigning champion Laguno. This must be Williams' worst qualifying performance in a long time, as Ludwig and Fede make up row 4 on the grid. Sigma Bob in the Etruria is starting alongside Nikhil, and they also had the same time as did Toaster, who is going to start alongside his teammate Juanvi. Guillermo now going into his 6th season in UMRL. Then Jojo JB makes his return. Great to see that name again. He's had a brilliant debut in Season 4, Spring 2025, at the Spanish Grand Prix, took P5 there, and then raced one more round, and then just disappeared. And then we have a smooth operator starting for S25M in 15th place ahead of Alessandro. Oh, one time not with a good qualifying at all. But Alessandro also someone who's been racing in the first 2 seasons of the league, then returned last season and is going to continue his career now. As Piggy, our champion from the autumn 2024 season, has also been racing more regularly again, continues his bad run of qualifyings, once again trying to make up for it in the race then. And Francesco completes an all-Italian lineup for the French one-time team. As for the race itself, the duration of all UMRL races has been extended from 20 to 25 minutes, mainly because UMRL is now getting 20-minute races, and there is a brand new league called the Emerging Mobile Racing League between UMRL, our entry level, and UMRL, but UMRL is also kinda like an entry level, so if you plan to race in our leagues, feel free to head to our Discord server. And there are now 36 entry spots on paper, basically. And it seems like we need them, because the attendance has been very high all the time. I remember in the past where we only had 12 people racing quite often, in UMRL even. And now all the grids are stacked. And this is it now. The drivers are picking their tires. This is UMRL in 2026 and we are on the way. Justin pulls across and covers Senna off as we go into the first corner. Pero Drive is trying to go past both of them into turn 3 and he's already ahead in the MP Motorsports. Senna in third, Justin now trying to go back around the outside and the hairpin off turn 4. He gets a nice exit going up the hill as well. Matt trying to make a move on Nitro and Senna, falls back, goes across the gravel and across the track and bunches them up with Toaster, Fede and Laguno all in the fight there. Laguno leading this pack now in the Williams as Toaster and Fede slide wide in the long second to last corner, and Justin is in the lead of the race. Pero Drive, the flying Slovenian in P2, then Nitro, and look at this fight. Matt now ahead of Juan V, Jojo JB, Fede, and into turn 3 we go. Of course that is not gonna go well for all of them as Ludwig goes too deep in the hairpin. Jojo JB making the switch back and goes up into P6 for now. What a start from him, from 14th on the grid. Justin has kept P1 from pole. Toaster once again gets caught up in the latter part of the lap. And now the two APAs are left to fight for 6th place. Fede has had terrible luck over the last 1 or 2 seasons with many retirements due to his bad connection. And now he, for his own team and Jojo JB, might be on for a good result, at least right now. Laguno is up into the podium places ahead of the Ivanova of Nitro. Then Senna down to P5 from 2nd on the grid. Fede is on the soft tires. Nitro and Senna ahead of him are on the medium. Sigma Bob is in P8 for a Torreya Racing team, chasing the two APAs behind ahead of him. Nitro is also in his slipstream. There have also been changes to the slipstream settings again this season. I think it's a bit more powerful again than it was last season. Of course, last season it was changed to more of a DRS-like effect, as we see Nitro go ahead of our reigning champion Laguno, the Spaniard in the Williams, and Pero Drive is in the lead again. And this is the battle for first place then. A 4-way fight as of right now. As Pero Drive covers the inside in the last corner, is he gonna get a nice run down the straight there? He forces Justin wide so that he has to go even a longer distance through turn 15 there. And Pero keeps P1 for the moment. Turn 3 is an invitation for moves, but a very risky opportunity still to make a pass often, especially because of that gravel on the outside. And there's now been kind of a tangle between Sigma Bob and Matt, who got forced off. And Ludwig is in P11 right now. He started in P7, not the best of debuts for him in the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. And Justin is pulling ahead, and Pero Drive, did he lift off there to pick up the slipstream immediately? I'm not sure, but Nitro, not Nitro, Nitro's in 4th. Justin into the lead, and now Nitro is passing Justin. Oh no, he's not. I think he pressed the wrong button, turned to the right in the left-hand hairpin. That's a huge error by the Algerian driver. And he goes down to 7th place with the 2 APAs again scrapping ahead of him. Jojo and Fede side by side into turn 13. Jojo running across the grass. Fede keeps the position. Nitro is there. Sigma Bob, Toaster, Ludwig, and Matt. Now the fight for 5th place as Senna, Justin, Laguna, and Paradrive try to escape at the front. Sigma's having a great run on the outside in the slipstream. Can he get past Fede as well going into turn 3? Fede sliding wide, tapping the gravel just a little bit. He might still get a good run there. And Ludwig and Toaster are both off onto the grass. Ivanova GP once again with troubles in turn 4. Sigma past one of the 2 APAs. Nitro try to do the same once again. Fede is wide in turn 14. When Ludwig off onto the grass, that looked like some connection issue as they got tangled up. Maybe didn't know where they were on each other's screen. And that's Nikhil trying to go up into 7th place. Then I think Ludwig going ahead there. Yeah, he probably was further ahead than Nikhil saw. And 55 and Matt are fighting in 13th and 14th place here. 55 yet to stop on the old mediums. Matt sees the inside line in turn 10 and 55 is on the gravel. Yeah, we got Naguno in 2nd out front. 0 stops for them on the soft tires. And they are 2.5 seconds ahead of Senna as we see Toaster and Matt go past on the left and on the right of Fede here, who's now dropped out of the points even, as Nitro is still chasing his teammate for 4th position. Incredible. The first stops have already happened, but Para and Laguna still able to get a gap over Senna, but I think it's coming down at the moment. And now Para and Laguna are both into the pit lane as we still see this fight further down the field, and now we see them coming out of the pit lane. There's Piggy. Haven't mentioned him yet, but of course the MP Motorsport teammate probably won't be in the way of Pero too long, as Justin again finds the gravel in the exit of turn 3. That's such a difficult corner in general with these green parts beyond the curbs, which are also pretty much part of the track. They don't slow you down. But that's very difficult to judge. And Justin again losing a few positions, currently down in P7, and that is going to be P3? Depends where the others are going to come out. Senna is going to drop down quite a bit for now. He's behind Justin and goes for another set of soft tires. Sigma Bob and Fede side by side here. Oh, Sigma Bob actually losing out, even though he was more on the inside, less in the gravel than Fede. Oh, and Laguna with an early attempt of a move on Piggy. Trying to get past quickly. Piggy is gonna make his car as wide as humanly possible. Through the second to last corner, he takes a very tight line but compromises his exit. And Laguna is passing up into 2nd place. Laguna is now on the hard tires, lasting 12 to 17 laps, as is Piggy, but he's of course on much older ones. But he's coming back at Laguna in the first 3 corners, goes wide in turn 4 then, and it comes undone yet again. But 1.5 seconds now between Pero and Laguna. Pero is on the mediums as well, and Justin on the hards. And Senna and Toaster have gone for soft tires at this stage. Piggy is still out there now, losing the positions to Justin and Senna as well. Our 2 incredible rookies from last season. Pretty much the Guillermos and Krusnitz of the modern era. Justin finishing 3rd in the championship last season and Senna in 4th. As we see Toaster pit again already. Towards the front we go again. We look at Senna and Justin. Justin probably happy to stay in the slipstream of the Brazilian right now. And maybe trying to catch up to Laguna and also Pero, who's even further ahead of course. But Justin is staying very close down the main straight. But I think he knows what to do in this phase of the race. Piggy makes his first pit stop at the end of lap 13 here. And Jojo is down to 8th at the moment, together with Nitro. I think they were further ahead because of the pit stops. But still it's looking very nice for Jojo here. And of course for Paradrive. Who would have expected that? He finished in 22nd last season in the championship, taking 6 points. Best result of P8 so far. He's gonna beat that by a long shot, even if it's not gonna be a win for him today. But currently he is right in it. For MP Motorsport, they might take 2 consecutive wins even, with 2 surprise winners. Sigma Bob, of course, won the last race at Canada ahead of the 2 Williams with an unbelievable finish. Laguna was crowned double champion there. Right now it's not looking that good, as Senna on the soft tires now makes his move past Laguna, who can't even fight it into turn 1 anymore. Senna just that far ahead. Laguna's probably also picking up the slipstream for now. But still it shows that he cannot dominate around here, even though Krusnitz not here, his rival for the title last season. And here's Nikhil, the other Williams, stuck behind the 2 Minaris. Juanvi's gone from S25M to Minardi for this season, as Juanvi defends from Nikhil, and it looks like he even passed Toaster now. Yes, he is. I think they're still racing. But we look further towards the front again. And Nitro has to defend from Matt, who started in P5, of course. So yeah, he's kind of dropped back. But Matt has had a difficult time this entire last season. So I think he can still be happy with P8 at the moment. Fighting with Nitro. And Senna has to make his second stop already. And Laguna continues down the main straight, as does Justin. Senna is now going for a set of hard tires. Toaster retires from the race. I think that's something that's never happened before either. Toaster, one of the most experienced drivers as well now. 38 races across 4 seasons. And yet, I know he's taken 3 retirements so far. Okay, but I think there's been a long time where he hasn't had one. Anyway, it's quite a rare thing for him. And it's less than a second between Pero and Laguna again. Maybe Pero's medium tires now also degrading. Senna is kind of wiggling his car on the outside of Sigma Bob there. Cannot pass him yet. Maybe trying to intimidate his Italian rival, as Senna dips 2 wheels on the runoff on the inside of turn 4 and cannot pass Sigma Bob there. And Paradrive does take his second pit stop as well. Laguna takes the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix on lap 19, but that is not the end result yet. Paradrive is in this to win the Portuguese Grand Prix. Now he's being chased by Sigma Bob and Senna though. We got Jojo JB now in P6 again, Nitro in 7th. They're still very closely together. Matt also in that fight now. Piggy also less than a second behind Matt then. And Guillermo, Fede and Juanvi round out our points paying positions for the moment. With Ludwig dropping down to P13. Nikhil also outside the points for Williams. That's unusual to see a car from Williams E-Racing this far down. But of course, they've had a stellar lineup last season, probably something that we are not going to see anymore in the foreseeable future. Yeah, a bit of a pile-up in the pit lane there. Oh, the pit lane isn't ghosted. That's interesting, as Matt also touches Nitro there, who was pretty diagonal in that pit lane. They all got new tires now as well in that fight. And Piggy, of course, with that long first stint, he's going to be further up again now in P5. Guillermo in P7 and Laguna at the very front of the field, going for his second stop, with Paradrive already retaking the lead of the race. Senna and Justin also... No, they're not past Laguna. Laguna's already out of the pit lane on another set of mediums. Only half of the race done at this point. That's... You definitely notice the increase in length, especially because the strategies are also much more unpredictable still in this phase of the race. But they're all going for a bit longer stints now, as they're on hard and medium tires. But Laguna is already in the frame here, as we spectate Pero Drive. Laguna now the most experienced driver again, together with Matt. They're both in their 54 races. Laguna is gonna be the first driver to take 1,000 points in their career if he scores, I think, more than 21 points today. 21.5 points. And it looks like he might be able to do it if he wins this. Going into the first corner, and Laguna takes the lead away from Pero Drive, and this is now, a pass for net P1. Pero Drive on the hard tires is going to be able to fight a bit more again, maybe later in his stint, but still not too much of a difference here. Pero Drive down to P2, behind the reigning champion. Trying to line up a good exit onto the main straight again. Is he in the slipstream with these new settings? I think he is still, as Laguna tries to break the toe. Yes, he is. But Pero Drive is just too far behind now, Laguna. Back to the position that he knows best. 24 wins also in his career. Piggy with his second stop. As for the third place, Senna is ahead of Justin now. That's something that we haven't seen today again, also. With Justin on pole position. I think Senna also dropping back at the start. But their rivalry is of course also going to continue in the winter of 2026. And Fede is back up to 5th place. Fantastic to see him making another comeback even in this race. Sigma in P6, the Nitro, Matt, Piggy, Nikhil, Juanvi and Guillermo now in P12. And there is Fede being chased by Sigma Bob and Nitro's on the mediums. Pretty calm phase of this race, I have to say. But Juanvi is attempting a move on Nikhil. Is Nikhil gonna be able to fight this on his older hard here? Trying to go around the outside of Portimao corner. That's how these two corners at the very top of the hill are named, and Nikhil actually managed to do it around the outside of the hairpin there. But Juanvi gets a better exit on the mediums, trying to get that strange speed glitch on the straight maybe as they go into each other. And now Juanvi is ahead in P10. Nikhil back in the points for now. Frankie is running in P16 for one time, so pretty far off the points, and Francesco has retired from the race first. So there might be 0 points on the table for one time after round 1. The team who just about finished ahead of Minardi in the team's championship last season. As Guillermo just powers past Nikhil in the Hurricane Racing team. Up into 11th place, 2 very experienced drivers. Juanvi, also pretty experienced now, 18 races in his career. But still no podium. Of course, the UMRL champion of the summer 2025 season. Last year that honor belonged to Justin. The Nitro finished in 2nd in the championship, and Senna in P3, who also just focused a bit more on UMRL, I think, then. And Sigma Bob is ahead of Fede now. Both on pretty much the same strategy. But Sigma Bob might also be looking to fight for podiums regularly, because that's what he's been doing in these last few races that he's raced. With that 1-2 at Silverstone, where only the rain cost him the win against his teammate Justin. And then, of course, sensational win that saved MP Motorsport pretty much from being relegated. That, of course, happened to Aston Martin then after the last race. And Aston Martin no longer on the grid, a team that's existed for the first 6 seasons, but now we're gonna have to watch the S25M and the Etruria racing again. Justin goes past Senna, who opts for a stop. I'm not sure how old Justin's tires are at the moment, but Senna is going for the mediums towards the end of the race and comes out still ahead of Sigma Bob. pretty big gaps at the front now. But Etruria is probably going to pick up the most points here still. So we see Jojo and Ludwig just inside the points. Ludwig, of course, had his difficulties this race. Might be happy to still score, but Jojo was pretty high up. Now instead his teammate Fede is looking better again. And the two Etrurias are right here together. Senna now pretty far ahead of Justin, I have to say. Pollock noticing a teleport from Justin, so that's just a warning. I think not immediately in order to DNF from the race. But we're gonna have to watch Justin now. Let's hope that he's not gonna have to retire for technical problems here. As Jojo defends from Nitro. Fede is also down to P9 at this point, and Jojo can't defend much longer. And the Ibernova goes up into P10. Trying to still catch Fede as well. As Matt and Piggy, two very experienced drivers. Fight for P6 now. Piggy is probably not gonna carry this out towards the final lap, I think. And we see Laguno, who's made his third pit stop. Paradrive now doing the same, and oh, that's quite a big gap then for Paradrive to still catch up in these final laps. I think Laguno just pitted last lap, so there's barely any tire difference between them. 2 seconds away from the double champion is very, very difficult for the Serbian in the MP Motorsport. Nitro is still defending from Jojo here. Is he gonna do a dive bomb into turn 4? We haven't seen it, but no, he hasn't. And Guillermo is also going ahead of Piggy. Fede already attempting the move too, and now there's Justin right behind them. Justin really caught up in the pack now, almost in the midfield, with Senna clearly in third place. Guillermo trying to do the move on the inside of Piggy. Fede also going through, and Guillermo and Piggy both off onto the gravel on the exit of turn 3. That is not something that you want to see. Nitro is now waiting to pounce, as Guillermo's hard tires are also really old. Just seeing that. Are they gonna go to the end of the race on these tires? They're just inside the points. Maybe they're afraid of dropping out of them now, but no, they have to pit. And Nitro picks up 2 places here, goes up into P7, and Fede back up to 6th. So very, very interesting strategical developments, at least in this first race, I have to say. Not too much on-track action in the middle part of the race, but probably this is gonna change now. Probably not for the lead though, because Laguno has increased his gap over Paradrive to 4 seconds now. And I think the hopes of Paradrive taking an incredible surprise win for MP Motorsports again are kind of demolished at this point. Still, we have 7 laps to go. Anything can happen, but you have to be realistic as well. And Senna's gone for a 4th pit stop. He's on the soft tires now. Also got the fastest lap already. Just wanted to say maybe he wants to get the fastest lap, but no, he already has done that. But he's 8 seconds behind Paradrive. Then we got Sigma Bob and Justin, the 2 Etrurias, in 4th and 5th. Don't think that Justin is gonna catch up to his teammate anymore too. Yeah, because their tires are pretty much the same. Then Fede looks like he's gonna bring the big points home for APA Racing Team in P6. And Nitro, and this is Guillermo and Ludwig. Ludwig back inside the points, as I said before, trying to pass the champion of the Winter 2025 season. 1 year on, Guillermo has to face the new rookies in the new teams. And still able to defend against him at the moment. No, not anymore. There's been a mistake from the Spaniard on the exit of turn 4, as it looks. And Piggy's also gone through. He's on the soft tires now, as is Guillermo. And Ludwig's medium tires, yeah, are also looking solid still. But I think Piggy's got the better grip here. in the second to last corner, and with the straight line advantage, is he going to be able to hold the position? Is Guillermo maybe even going to get past him into the first corner? Ludwig trying to go as wide as possible to get a good line. But can't pull off a switchback out of turn 3 either. Ludwig currently dropping down to P11 with P and Guillermo scoring some solid points still for their teams. Matt is also in P8 then. So Hurricane Racing team with a very experienced, solid lineup so far. Matt and Guillermo on for a few points today. So in the end of lap 39, this battle continues down towards the first corner. There haven't been any changes. We watch Matt and Nitro also battling ahead of that. So the Ivanovas not having their positions settled just yet. As Guillermo goes a little bit wide, gets the inside line for the next few corners then. At the front, the gap has come down again a bit between Laguna and Paradrive, but still it is quite a big one. Fastest lap still being held by Senna. I don't think there's going to be any changes in that, and that looked pretty aggressive from Matt, as he also kind of wiggles his car just like Senna did before, and he's ahead of Nitro. Piggy still leading this train. It looks like this is our battle for the final race to entertain us for these lower points paying positions. Guillermo dropping down to 11th place. Jojo JB still just inside of them in the APA. And Nikhil again out of them, as are Juan V55 and Frankie. 2 laps to go in the third edition of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Laguno's win. Probably a bit of an easier one than last season, as he went from 18th to 1st. But he definitely has already proven that this track does suit him. And he's doing this in 2026 again. As now Nitro has fallen back, and now he's right in the battle with Piggy, Ludwig and Guillermo. Ludwig going past the 2 experienced drivers and the Ibernovas in P8 and P9 now. Where are our top few drivers? Yeah, Laguna is already coming out of the last corner. He's crossing the line to win the first race of the winter 2026 season as well. Laguna wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. Paradrive takes his first career podium, even fighting for the victory. But I think he will be delighted with second place as well for MP Motorsport. What a drive. Senna rounds out the podium. A very solid performance from him in the end as well, even though he's 10 seconds off. Laguna and Pero there. Sigma Bob and Fede take 4th and 5th. Fede is ahead of Justin here. Photo finish between the 2 Ivanovas and Guillermo. Matt is in 7th place. Piggy then wins out in the battle that we've been watching these last few laps in the race, with Nitro in P9 and Guillermo in 10th. So yeah, I would still say it's been an acceptable comeback for Piggy, definitely considering that he started down in P17, so really the last row from the grid. And this, what we're watching right now, is already the corrected results from a few days later. Yeah, Fede has received 7 penalty points. I think 10 gives you a race ban, but he's received 11 seconds of penalties. Well, it's still points for him in the APA, but of course P5 would have been incredible. Yeah, very interesting. So Justin takes P5, then it's Matt, Piggy, Guillermo and Ludwig both gain 2 positions, and the Williams team owner Nikhil is scoring points on his return in 11th place. He's not the main driver, by the way. The main driver is Sigwin, a very exciting young driver in the junior leagues right now, making his debut next week in Interlagos. Juan now rounds out our top 12, with Jojo also getting a 5-second penalty. I think the harshest penalty that you could get before this season was 3 seconds. Now it can definitely go above that as well. Smooth and Frankie were our other 2 finishing drivers, and Toaster, Francesco and Nitro, who's been disqualified. Damn. Yeah, the drivers' standings of course look the same. It's 2 additional points for Justin for taking pole position, and 1 point more for Senna for taking the fastest lap. And it's Etruria and MP Motorsport tied at the top, with our team's champions just 1 point behind them as well. See you for round 2. We go to Sao Paulo again, but with the Ultimate Racing 2D1 layout. It's going to be a very short track. So subscribe to stay up to date and join the Discord server to be part of the action yourself when the Ultimate Mobile Racing League returns.